Hi, I'm Eclipse Guy. This is my video tutorial about key binding. A lot of new players may or may not be aware of the importance of key binding to MMO games, particularly Guild Wars. You can keybind your skills to your mouse or your keyboard to aid in the ease of using your skills effectively, dodging particularly, I think. Using your weapon skills here. As you can see, I have them all keybound to either my mouse or my keyboard. I particularly use an MMO mouse. There are lots on the market. You can choose from a variety of brands. As you can see here, I have some keybound to the keyboard, some keybound to the mouse. The more buttons you have on the mouse, the better, obviously. Forming a muscle memory for your mouse is very important. It takes a while. You'll have some oops time while you're getting used to your keybinds. But once you learn them, it helps so much. So much. Anything that you're doing that's particularly fast moving, having your keybinds memorized is going to help you a ton. So I'm going to look at what I have keybound just as an example. So you're going to go into options here, and control options is where you're going to find them. So for example here, I have my strafe keybound instead of my turn left, turn right here for movement. I do this so that I'm always facing forward. So my WASD here is keybound to strafing left and right. I just like this so that, for example, you see when I'm moving, I'm facing forward. I'm not turning while I'm walking. So that, like, when I'm going forward and backwards here, I'm always pointed in the direction that I'm running. So that's just one tip. In your control options, you can go back in here. My mouse 3, which is my scroll wheel, is my weapon swap. I have on my weapon skills, that's these. On the left side of my bar, I have on my keyboard most of them. My QCVR is my weapon skills, but my auto attack is on my mouse. So this is totally up to you. This is whatever is comfortable for you, whatever's convenient. It needs to be something that is easily accessible to your fingers. So this goes for everything that's down here on this bar. Whatever's within reach to your hands. My healing skill is E. Here's my utility skills, 4, 5, 6, 3. That's these. Profession skill is T. That's my shroud. My special action, that's like a fractal action, or like in story mode, that's G. And then here's my targeting, call target. Those are default. Take target is X. And then I have my shifting through enemies is always tab. I think that's default. That is when I'm clicking through enemies, so like if I'm wanting to target on something, if this was an enemy, I could cycle through them by clicking tab, and it would go from this one to this one to this one. And that is helpful for quickly going through your enemies and targeting an enemy. And then all of your basic keyboard stuff is here. Your interact and all of this. So you can keybind literally all of this custom. I totally recommend keybinding as much of it as possible for what's comfortable for you. This can be really helpful, and the more muscle memory you build up on it, the better. So going back into general options, there's a few other things here that you can do. like your ground targeting, you can do fast with range indicator is what I typically prefer. Like if I'm using staff or something else that casts, means it casts where your target is at, your cursor is at, I mean, so that when you push the button, it's going to cast where your cursor's at. One other thing I definitely recommend turning off is this is double tap to evade. That means when you're moving, your directional WASD, when you double tap that to move, you're not going to accidentally dodge roll off of a platform or something. I don't like that because I have a tendency to accidentally roll off of platforms or wherever I'm at by doing that. You don't want to accidentally disable your area of effect rings. That's your red circles that tell you what is damaging you. So I don't like snapping the ground target to current target either, because if you have, for example, like your staff on your necro, you may not want to cast where the current target's at. You may want to, for example, in PvP or World versus World, cast ahead of your target as they're walking, so they're walking into your AoE. Things like that. Just thinking about what you're casting can help. That's pretty well, I think, covers it for that. Target health percent, I find this helpful so that you know, for example, when to stop attacking if you need to on a boss if it reaches a certain health percentage. So those are some helpful options that a lot of new players might not be aware of, but totally recommend keybinds. This is a huge thing that I really highly recommend is keybinding. You really can get a lot out of it that you may not otherwise know. So thanks for watching, and my name is Eclipse Sky, and I'll see you next time.